Root Sports is brought to you by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. It is cloudy outside. In fact, dark clouds. May even be raining out there beyond left field at Minute Maid Park. Lance McCullers, though, is not worried about that. Everything high and dry inside as he goes out for start number 3 of the season with the Houston Astros. And last time out, he suffered a tough 2-1 loss to the Texas Rangers. Plummer.
Yeah, he did. He pitched all right, went 6 strong. That was probably the most beneficial thing for the Houston Astros to see, is that he went those 6 innings, only gave up 2 earned runs, threw 92 pitches in the process also, which tells you getting his stamina back, getting those legs back under him. See that 85.5-mile-per-hour curveball velocity is second highest in Major League Baseball. What's interesting about Lance is he's one of those few guys that will go in there and look at the spin rates on that curveball to make sure that it is breaking properly.
Here's the lineup he'll be facing tonight. The Baltimore Orioles have not been swept in a 3-game series this year. The Astros have not had a 3-game series sweep. Joey Rickard is the right fielder. Manny Machado at shortstop. Chris Davis at first. The cleanup man is center fielder Adam Jones, with Matt Wieters the catcher batting 5th. The DH Mark Trumbo, Jonathan Scope at 2nd. Hyun-Soo Kim in left field. Paul Janisch at 3rd base, and the pitcher will be Kevin Gossman. First pitch is off the outside edge to Joey Rickard for ball 1. Greg Gibson is the home plate umpire. Rickard was 1 for 5 in the opener of this series Tuesday night. .259 for the season. And the rookie hits one toward the right field line. George Springer coming over. That one is out of his reach. It's 1-1 on Rickard. Rickard, as a Rule 5 draft choice taken from the Tampa Bay organization, has paid off for Baltimore this season. And he did so by hitting .387 in spring training. That has earned him a lot of early season playing time. He was the starting left fielder, moved into the leadoff spot. Off the plate, and it's 2-1. The Colors looked good last time out in that 2-1 loss. Plummer throwing 92 pitches.
Yeah, it's good. It's just a matter of time before he gets comfortable back on that hill too. Getting used to that new arm action, a little bit shorter, taking that arm back.
He had a late start to this season based on the soreness in his shoulder in spring training. There's a leadoff walk for Rickard, who has 3 steals in 4 attempts. Well, McCullers now with his 7th walk. He's in his 11th inning, and he'll deal with Manny Machado next. Dealing with Manny Machado has not been very comfortable for pitchers around the majors this year. He has 13 homers so far, 27 runs batted in, and a .997 OPS. He is a threat.
Yeah, he's off to an okay start.
He homered off Doug Fister in that opener Tuesday night. He's drawn 4 walks in the series. Inside off the mid of Jason Castro, and now Rickard gets to second base. On ball 1 to Machado.
Tailing fastball. Kind of interesting to see it get away from Castro as we look at it on our Supermo, brought to you by Mattress Firm. Set up on the outside corner. That ball ran well to the inside.
Ruled a pass ball. Off the edge. 2-0 now to Machado. Machado and Jose Altuve have been drawing a lot of rave reviews for their early season work, and both highly regarded by a lot of the baseball writers and followers. Way outside there, and McCullers has been missing the target by quite a bit. He's fallen behind 3-0 here.
It's not the start you're looking for, is it?
No, and I think Lance is the type of guy who really gets himself pumped, don't you think?
Yeah, he is an emotional pitcher out there. And if anything, it's not a real issue, but if he could contain some of that excitement, refocus it to going after that strike zone, he'd be in great shape.
Yeah, isn't that the case with a lot of athletes, just channeling all that energy?
Yeah, these young kids sometimes get a little amped up. He got a gift right there. Hopefully that brings him back into the zone. That's ball 4, and he has back-to-back walks.
And Chris Davis comes up next.
Although in his defense, we've seen Oriole hitters chase some of those pitches in that series way out of the zone.
They have been chasing, and they've been striking out a bunch. 37 strikeouts in 2 games for Oriole hitters. So it's been nothing but fastballs so far for McCullers. We'll see if he would go with the curveball here on the first pitch to Chris Davis. Davis with 10 homers, 27 runs batted in, a .236 hitter. But yet that high heater could be an excellent pitch on him.
Yeah, but I think what you were trying to hint at is maybe throwing a different pitch to change that mindset a little bit. There you go.
Right. That's ball 1. A lot of times when that fastball is hard to harness, maybe a breaking pitch will cause the pitcher to stay back a little bit longer. Now it's 2-0, and they need to figure something. Oh, they went around, huh? 1-1. That's a big play. It's 2-0.
Yeah, that definitely changes the count, right?
Big time.
From 2-0 to 1-1. Looked like it'd be a pretty good call too.
Okay. Yeah, the problem is his fastball's moving around so doggone much. It's a challenge for the home plate umpire.
Look at that last pitch on our strike zone, brought to you by MD Anderson, just below the zone. See Lance, when he turned around, he wanted that pitch. Not only did he want it, he needed it.
Now 2-1 on the big slugger. Davis grounds one, and there's the play at first base for Tyler White. He took a look at second, but did not make the throw to try to force Machado. 1 out, runners at second and third on the ground out.
That was a good choice by Tyler White, playing deep towards that line with the big left-handed hitting Chris Davis. Would have been a long throw for Tyler trying to get Machado at second.
Adam Jones is the batter. Greg Gibson dusting off home plate before Jones takes a look at his first pitch. He has 5 homers, 19 runs batted in, a .227 batting average for Adam Jones. Jones doesn't have it cranked up yet offensively this year. Infield plays back with 1 out. Adams 1 for 11 in this series. There's a strike on the heater. And he's been persistent with the fastball, staying with it.
Well, that's one pitch he definitely needs to find the control of, because that's what sets up that curveball for him so well.
And the curve is tapped foul. He's actually thrown his curveball more than his fastball this year.
That'll be interesting to watch throughout this ball game today, because this is only his 3rd start since coming back off the DL. See if he stays consistent with that theme of throwing a lot of breaking balls. And what you're talking to, Brownie, is he's almost 50-50 on that fastball curveball usage this season.
And you can see that downward break on the curve. That can be an excellent ground ball pitch or strikeout pitch for Lance. The Orioles know about him. He pitched a beautiful game against them last year. He struck out 11 against Baltimore last June 3rd. His first professional complete game. And he beat the Birds 3-1 with no walks. In the dirt.
Nice, good job by the guys in the truck. You see the breakdown of the pitch usage on the right-hand side above the strike zone.
Pitches so far. That's quite a different mix than what you had mentioned he has had to this point of the season, and what he did last year for that matter.
Well, I think it might be due to the fact that 11 of those 18 have been out of the zone.
True. He got a punch out, and what a time for it, with runners at second and third for out number 2.
You are right, Brownie. That was a big time pitch in a big time situation, even though it is the first inning. Having struggles with the command, able to have that put away breaking ball for the strikeout with runners at second and third.
Now a hot hitting Matt Wieters, who is 4 for 10 in this series, comes up on a 6-game hitting streak. .294, 4 homers, 16 runs batted in. He's been crushing it lately. Wieters during his 6-game streak has gone 13 for 26. 4 doubles, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in for Matt Wieters during that stretch. And it's ball 1 with first base open and Mark Trumbo on deck. Switch hitting catcher with power. He's hitting .321 left-handed for 84 at bats, and all 4 of his home runs have come from this side of the plate. It's 2-0. So here in the first inning, you wouldn't see a team use an intentional walk, but you might see him pitch around a guy.
Yeah, and I'm on the same page as you, Brownie. As you were mentioning that Wieters is swinging the bat well. Switch hit, so he's on that left-handed side. You have the right-handed hitting Mark Trumbo on deck, but first base is open.
And now that it goes to 2-0, it gets dicey. Foul away.
And just looking up some of the numbers on Lance McCullers in his career, left-handers are hitting .215 off him. Right-handers .248. That one kind of threw me off a little bit. I anticipated him being pretty nasty to right-handers with that breaking ball.
Right. McCullers 22 years old. He was a supplemental draft choice in 2012. Fastball rolled out to Altuve. Boy, he stayed with that fastball and it got him out of trouble. He was able to harness it after back-to-back walks to start things. No score. With this starting lineup for A.J. Hinch, it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. George Springer leading it off again tonight in right field, followed by second baseman Jose Altuve, shortstop Carlos Correa, left fielder Colby Rasmus. The DH Evan Gattis has had his home run bat going lately. Tyler White's at first base with Luis Valbuena also on a little home run jag at third. Jason Castro the catcher and Jake Marisnick in center field.
And for the Baltimore Orioles, you get a look at Kevin Gausman, right-hander, making his 7th start in the season. Kind of interesting to see that record for him at 0-1. He has recorded a no decision in his last 5 starts.
Just not getting run support.
Yeah, that last outing he went 6 2/3 against the Angels. Only gave up 1 run.
The splitter has been very, very big in his arsenal. And he throws hard too, Blummer.
Yeah, he's got a good live arm.
Average fastball speed this year 95 for Kevin Gausman. He was the 4th player drafted in the 2012 draft. That's the year Carlos Correa was drafted first. George Springer looks at ball 1. At 265, George has 9 homers, 26 runs batted in. He's had a big series, going 4 for 8. And in his career, he's hit .385 out of the leadoff spot. He cranks one to left, and very quickly, Springer mashes a leadoff homer to make it 1-0 Houston. Jose Altuve has hit 6 leadoff homers. There's one for Springer, his 10th of the year.
That's not a big overswing from George Springer. He doesn't have to. He gets the barrel to it quickly, stays through it nicely. That ball was roped.
He gets splashed. Strike to Jose Altuve, trying to snap an 0 for 17. Altuve at .312 has 9 homers, 27 runs batted in. He's tied for second in hits with 58. Lunges at that breaking pitch, and it's 0-2. Gausman really with good stuff, but as we were talking, and you mentioned it last time out, he just has had to try to hang in there and wait for run support that has not been coming from his Oriole teammates. Altuve stays alive at 0-2. Jose 0 for 9 in this series. That's the 4th home run off Gausman in 36 2/3 major league innings. He opened the season on the disabled list with a shoulder injury. It's 1-2, so 7 leadoff homers for the Astros this year as George Springer goes deep. Give him 27 runs batted in.
So he may have scared him off the fastball. That was last fastball was the first straight pitch Altuve's seen.
Now it's 2-2. Altuve taking a close one. The Astros are 12-11 in the month of May. After that 7-17 April. Altuve stays alive. So they've shown some big signs here this month. They've scored 99 runs in those 23 games. They'd like to do better than that, but their opponents have scored 97. The pitching has been better, especially the bullpen. Lights out for the Astros bullpen in the month of May. Machado at short, lays back on it and gets a hustling Altuve as we see the powerful swing of Springer.
It's a nice pure swing from George. Tried to get in the kitchen with that 95 and he said not today. Got the hands in nicely, barreled it up. That was a beautiful swing from George. I find myself sometimes watching some of these guys like Springer and Correa when they do connect. You almost kind of got to sit back and just watch and enjoy the purity of their power.
But that one.
Yeah, that looks good.
No doubter. Carlos Correa is the batter. Correa takes ball 1. Correa, a .250 hitter with 7 homers, has 21 runs batted in. He's 2 for 10 with an RBI in this series. That was the game winner in the 13th inning Tuesday night for Carlos. Now Carlos, we mentioned, was the first player drafted in 2012. Kevin Gausman, the 4th player drafted in 2012. Lance McCullers was the 41st player drafted that year. So 3 major stars from that draft competing tonight. It's 1-1. Correa goes to a 1-2 count. The Baltimore Orioles are 26-18. They're 2 games off the lead pace being set by Boston in the AL East. They have the 3rd best winning percentage in the American League at .591. Dave Wallace is the pitching coach for Buck Showalter. Good take by Correa. That takes it to 2-2. The Astros as a team, Blummer, are hitting .379 when they're ahead in the count this year. 4th best in the majors. Correa's ahead 3-2.
So you're telling me there's a good chance of a base hit right here?
Well, that's not a predictive stat, but it could happen, sure.
In baseball, that's a big number.
It is a big number. Springer hit a 1-0 pitch for his homer. Swing and a miss, and this gets by Wieters. Correa hustling. Here's the throw to first, and Davis saves the day by digging that one out at first on a strikeout and a 2-3 putout for out number 2. Davis gave that foul territory target to Wieters.
That was a 3-2 split from Gossman, so that tells you that he respects Correa. Good play.
Very well done.
It's good to see him go to the outside of the bag and give that good target to Wieters behind home plate.
Colby Rasmus with 8 homers, 31 runs batted in, has a .228 average. Pops it up. Third baseman coming over, Paul Janisch, native of Houston, with the play. The Springer leadoff homer makes it Houston 1, Baltimore nothing after 1.
Take a look at our Chevy Stroll poll.
Let's go to the.
Which wacky moment is your favorite? A. Correa Gatorade shower. This is that was dangerous. I'm not sure how wacky that was, but showing athleticism, getting out of the way. Always keep your eye on the ball, kids, and see a little blast from the past.
Oh boy!
Time-lapse camera when she crushed that boomstick.
Man, these are so much fun to relive. I tell you,
Back in,
especially this one.
yeah, less perilous times for Julia. Now here's a shot to left field. That'll tie it. On the first pitch to Mark Trumbo, he hits one up on the tracks. Number 14 of the year makes it 1-1. And the Orioles respond. They've hit 66 home runs. They're second in the American League.
All right. A lot of runs being scored in this series off the home run. We talked about the location issues on the fastball for Lance McCullers, and this one just tailed right up into the barrel of that Mark Trumbo swing.
1-1 game. Jonathan Scope, the batter. That pitch in on him, and he swings at it for strike one. Scope with 8 homers, 26 runs batted in. Sports a .272 batting average. Trumbo now has driven in 32 this year already. Breaking pitch away, and he checked the swing on appeal to Ed Hickox. It's a 1-1 count on Scope. Scope has 3 hits and 10 at bats in this series. Got around a little bit late on that one, and it's out of play for a 1-2 count. Yeah, Julia's been in peril this series. The Powerade bath, and then that wicked foul ball.
I need ponchos. I need gear.
Yeah, and then you got the scoop on that Springer funnel cake situation.
Well, I was watching that foul ball head right towards me too. So.
Oh.
It's been an exciting series.
It's been, yeah, a very unusual series.
Whew.
So stay safe down there. We don't know what tonight's going to bring, other than a long flight to Anaheim for you guys.
Yeah, at the wrong part of the day, too.
Ugh. Swing and a miss at a breaking pitch. Strikeout number 2 for McCullers. They'll be selling these, Julia was saying, for a while now. It's become a specialty.
Springer Splash funnel cake right there.
It's all about marketing.
Did you actually sample that?
No, I was good last night.
Okay.
I'm never good, but I did a really good workout, so I
Nice.
held off yesterday.
So maybe tonight.
Maybe tonight I'll do it.
Good. Hyun-Soo Kim is the batter, and he had quite a game last night. There's ball 1 to the left fielder, hitting .438, no homers, 2 runs batted in. He's had 32 major league at bats. Last night he had 3 hits and a walk in 4 plate appearances, 2 doubles for Kim. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. By the way, back to that last out in the first inning. That was a foul ball that was caught by Machado, not Yanish. The Orioles were in a shift, so Yanish was out in right field, actually. So that was a foul ball caught by the shortstop. In for a strike, and it's 2-2. I like the orange hats. Full foul.
It's a pretty solid approach.
They're matched up very well. It's like it may be raining hard out there, Blummer.
Yeah, it doesn't look too pretty through those windows, does it?
Very dark. Swing and a miss at a pitch that almost hit him on the leg. Strikeout number 3 for McCullers. He's got some wicked stuff tonight.
Curveball's been nasty for him over the year. Going right to it again, and yeah, it's tough to take a swing while you're trying to get your feet out of the way, isn't it? Put on the roller skates.
Ever seen anybody swing with both of his feet off the ground?
Jose Altuve.
That's
and I
right.
guarantee you, if we give those guys in the truck enough time, they'd find that video, because that was incredible.
He did. Yeah.
Remember that pitch up over his head, and I think he jumped after it.
Paul Yanish, a Houston native, is hitting .091 in just a few at bats. Recalled from AAA May 7th after the injury to J.J. Hardy. And Yanish has a long history as a shortstop, but Machado's playing that position. Yeah, Altuve, he did. He jumped off the ground to hit that pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike to Paul Yanish, who went to Clear Creek High School, and then or Side Creek High School rather, and then Rice University. Born right here in Houston. .3-1 to Yanish. He was with the Cincinnati Reds from '08 through '11. Then he moved along to Atlanta. He had been drafted by the Reds in '04. Ground ball, and the third baseman Valbuena plays it on over to Tyler White. Home run by Trumbo ties the game at 1 in the second.
Presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
It's 1-1 here in Houston. The Orioles and the Astros go to the bottom of the second inning. Evan Gattis is the batter. Gattis has 5 homers, 13 runs batted in, and a .253 average. He caught last night. He's DHing tonight. And Gossman throws ball 1. Gattis with a .463 slugging percentage has hit .355 since his recall from AA Corpus Christi. In for a strike. That makes it 1-1 to Evan. 3 for 9 in this series. And he hit another home run last night. He's been on base in 8 games in a row since he came back. And he's gone 11 for 31 for that .355 average you saw. 1 and 2. He really had to grovel in the dirt last night on those all those pitches in the dirt, and really handled himself well behind the plate, Plummer.
I thought he did too. Yeah, he was working hard back there. Second time he's worked with Colin McHugh, and I think Colin McHugh is getting more comfortable with him back there. Was not afraid to bury that curveball for a lot of those strikeouts on Baltimore hitters.
Strike 3 call for Gossman. That's his second punch out.
Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston, benefiting Houston Children's Charities, and these are home runs by position on the Astros this season. First base leading the way with 10. Second base, left field, right field, all with 9. Tyler White getting the majority of the time over there at first base, hence the great white hat.
Great white hats are out. There's ball 1. And one of those ladies who was wearing one of those hats last night got the information to us that she bought it for $7. $2.30 for Tyler White. 7 homers, 18 runs batted in. What is that, $1 for every Tyler White homer? Is that the sale price has arrived at?
Looks out pretty good.
1-1 to Tyler. He's 1 for 4 in this series. Started at DH last night. He takes that one, and it's a 2-ball 1 strike count. Happy birthday wishes to Paul Hamm tonight. Watching the game. Breaking pitch makes it 3-1 now to Tyler White. We mentioned it last night. Congratulations to Second Baptist for winning that state baseball championship. Coach Lance Berkman, Andy Pettit, his assistant, the pitching coach. Tyler White takes a 1-out walk. Fun to read that story in the Houston Chronicle today about the season and the way they got a lot of coaching help along the way. Other luminaries who have been on the scene for a while. Jeff Calhoun's been over there at Second Baptist for quite some time. So they really had quite a year. Luis Valbuena, a .210 hitter with 4 homers, has driven in 13. 3 homers and 8 runs batted in for Valbuena in his last 10 games. 2 homers in 2 games for Luis. Ball 1. The Astros had an off day, as you know, Monday. He didn't take the day off. He decided to come into Minute Maid Park and hit.
Homered in the first 2 games of this series. Got a hanging changeup in the first game. Yesterday he got a fastball, went the other way with it for an opposite field home run.
1-1. He hit that one right under the Root Sports banner out in left center field. That was a really well hit ball.
Smart move by him too. There's a good chance we replay that one a couple more times.
Oh yeah, you'll see. Valbuena takes it in. It's 2-1. Take a look at those swings.
Well, this was a changeup up. Got the barrel out on it. Launched that. Pretty good arc on that one. This one was really impressive right here. Getting that fastball away and driving it just under that Root Sports sign that Brownie was talking about. And he said, yep,
It's 2-2. Carlos Gomez homered last night on his injury rehab assignment for Corpus Christi, and also had 3 outfield assists and made a diving catch.
Those ribs are okay.
Yeah. Sounds like he might be getting a little bit of his mojo back.
He needed to.
From some of the quotes, yeah, we saw from him after the game last night. That's a shot to right field. Valbuena has done it again for the 3rd straight game. 3-1 Houston. Valbuena hits number 5, 3 in 3 games. 15 runs batted in for the 3rd sacker, who's gotten hot.
It was good to see Luis Valbuena try to beat him with that fastball down. He dropped the head on it, hit a laser out to right field. We were pumping up the bottom part of that order in the pregame. That 7, 8, 9 spot. Luis Valbuena gives you a little hop out of that 7 spot in these last couple games too.
He hopped out of that batter's box. Jason Castro with strike 1. Valbuena provided the difference maker last night with that 6th inning homer. That broke a 3-3 tie, and this time he breaks a 1-1 tie. Castro's another who's improved in recent weeks, like Valbuena. 0-2. Castro in the month of May has hit .281 with an OPS of .931 for the season, with that .354 on base percentage reflecting his improvement. He's 0 for 4 in this series. Marisnick on deck. Castro's down on a punch out. That's number 3 for Gausman. Yeah, the Baltimore shift, you'll see Paul Janisch, 3rd baseman. He was out in right field. So now he's making that move all the way across to 3rd base again, with the right-handed hitting Marisnick coming up. The local guy. Marisnick at 111 has no homers, 1 RBI. Boy, the Astros would love to see him get it going. He's had 45 at bats. One of the best outfielders on the planet. He flips that one fouled into the seats, strike 1. And with Gomez working his way back, it's perhaps another week away for Gomez before he rejoins the Astros. So Marisnick will benefit from some of that playing time during the next week. 0-2. Remains to be seen how Gomez will be used, but he had not hit a home run this year before last night. One and 2. Julia in the way again.
Come on.
Oh, watch
I'm right there. Look at me.
What is going on? Take the target off your back.
You are just in danger this entire series.
I don't know what to do. Hit the deck?
I think that hit Karen Warren's camera lens.
Oh.
She's over there by you.
Everyone thinks it's my fault. They're all looking at me. I'm cursed over
There's
here.
Karen Warren. Yeah, that bounced off her camera lens. Covering the game for Houston Chronicle. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Marisnick. Broken bat looper to Machado. And that does it in the 2nd, but Valbuena has provided a tiebreaker. 2-run shot, number 5 of the year, 15 runs batted in, 3-1 Houston.
Top of the third, and it was about this time last year that Lance McCullers had his dress pants cut off as shorts as part of rookie fun. So he was just getting to know the team. They were getting to know him. And not long after that, he threw a complete game against these Baltimore Orioles. It was June 3rd, 2015. He gave up 1 run, 11 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. But he got to the 9th inning. His pitch count was over 100, and he allowed Adam Jones to get on. Just needed 1 out, and he was facing Chris Davis at the end of the game, and A.J. Hinch went to have a visit with him on the mound, and it was a big moment and a big conversation these two had as he told him, I've got Luke Gregerson hot, but I don't want to use him. This is your time to figure it out how to get one of the best power hitters out in the game. Finish this off. You can do this. This is the big leagues. And he did. He got through that complete game, and it was a big trust moment for Lance and for A.J. as they were learning each other as well. And there's a picture of that moment that's hanging in A.J. Hinch's office today, guys.
Very good story. Thanks, Julia. 1 ball, 1 strike to the leadoff man, Rickard, who walked opening the game. That one's foul back, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Oh, Sparky.
Sparky blew one?
Yeah. These Sparks.
That never happens to our radio compatriot down the line. Alongside Robert Ford and Astros radio. Curveball got him looking, and that's punch out number 4. So the Astros are going into new territory for strikeouts in a 3-game series. They have just tied a club record, 41 strikeouts in a 3-game series.
He's got that curveball working. Just a matter of getting ahead with the fastball.
Machado drew a walk on a 3-1 count in the first. Happy birthday to Zach Hablinski. Taking all the way, Machado backs out of there, and it's strike 1. Jackie Bradley Jr. is 0 for 3 so far for Boston tonight, working on a 29-game hitting streak. 1 ball, 1 strike. Boston is through 5 innings, trailing Colorado 6-2. 2-1. Luis Valbuena hit back-to-back homers last June against the Orioles, in back-to-back games, that is. And now he's taken it 1 notch further with homers in 3 consecutive games.
He's bombing on the birds.
Machado takes another walk.
Treat your employees, host clients, or celebrate a special occasion with an Astros luxury suite. Create an experience your group is sure to remember by calling 1-877-9-ASTROS and reserve your luxury suite today.
That's a great time. Chris Davis comes up. He grounded out to first after the first 2 batters in the game walked. Bouncer foul for Tyler White. Strike 1. Tomorrow night in Anaheim, it's Mike Fiers and Matt Shoemaker. That'll be an 8:30 pregame show time on Root Sports. And Saturday night at that same time, it'll be Dallas Keuchel and Jared Weaver in the ball game. Sunday it'll be a 2 o'clock pregame showtime leading up to Doug Fister and Nick Tropiano. Then on to Arizona for 2 and back to Houston to meet Arizona for 2 here.
Oh, you're telling me we got Doug Fister on a getaway game?
Yeah, you love that.
That is great news.
You're loving that. You've had a few getaway days. You've been gone for about 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, just a couple. It's been a while. It'll be good to see the family again. Eventually.
What family, right?
Yeah. Hopefully they haven't changed the locks on the doors.
1 and 2. Hey, this is my mistake, but I wanted Julia Morales to do some play-by-play tonight, and I jumped the gun a little bit on that, so we're going to postpone it until an upcoming homestand. We don't have an exact date yet, but Julia is going to do play-by-play.
Got to get clearance.
Yeah. So we'll have a little more notice next time we do that, and we're going to do it.
I like it.
Should be fun. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Susan Waldman with the New York Yankees does their radio broadcast, and she's a lady who has done play-by-play for years. There have not been too many in Major League Baseball. Davis strikes out. That's number 5 for McCullers. And now the Astros do have that new club record for strikeouts in a 3-game series with 42 now.
It's still early.
It is very early. Franchise record. The Major League record for strikeouts in a 3-game series is 47 by Washington this year in a 3-game series against Minnesota.
How about that?
Yeah. Now Adam Jones, he struck out in the first inning. And it's ball 1 to Jones. Jonathan Gray is pitching for the Rockies tonight in Boston. Clay Buchholz started, but he was gone after 5 innings, giving up 6 earned runs. David Ortiz hit his 12th homer. Carlos Gonzalez, number 6 for Colorado. That's in for a strike, and it's 1-1. Trevor Story hit number 13 for the Rockies tonight. Boy, there have been some completely unknown shortstops who have been attracting some attention, and he's one of them this year. That one spun up there, and it went for strike 2 on Jones. And another one is the Cardinals shortstop, Aledmus Diaz, who had been leading the National League in batting average for quite some time. And both those guys have got chances because of injuries.
So much talk about Correa, Lindor, Seager out in L.A., Xander Bogaerts in Boston, that some of these guys have made a name for themselves with the mix.
Altuve over to White in the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. 3-1 Astros.
And let's take a look back. What a great day for George Springer in Kansas City. Went 4 for 4, and he was not missing anything the Kansas City Royals pitchers were throwing up there, barreling up that ball, line drive to center field off the wall. This one trying to get out of their oppo, hits off the wall, another double. That was probably the hardest ball he hit right there, was on that hanging breaking ball. But this right here is an absolute blast. And this was a streak where pretty much George Springer carried the ball club. The man gets hot, he is able to do that. He has that kind of talent. That's what you want to see George Springer too. Busting out the moves with that good swing.
He homered on the second pitch thrown tonight by Kevin Gossman. Now the second time around, he takes ball 1. The Astros with a couple of long balls tonight, accounting for all 3 of their runs. They've now hit 61 homers this year. They rank 6th in the American League. Gossman pulls the string on him, and that makes it 1-1. That'll be the first meeting all season tomorrow night between the Astros and the Angels. First of 19. 2 balls and a strike. They really would like to get moving very soon against the clubs in the American League West. The Astros are 4-12 within their division. Springer takes it, and it's ball 3. Cardinals 1, Nationals 1. They're in the bottom of the 7th tonight in Washington. Mike Leake, who's 3-0 in his last 3 starts, has done well against Joe Ross. Bryce Harper hit his 12th homer. Aledmys Diaz his 7th for St. Louis. Springer slaps one, and there's Chris Davis waiting for it. 1 out. He was the only guy between first and second base. Springer, unfortunately for him, hit it right to Davis.
Looked like a pretty good approach from George, too. He got the fastball away, didn't try and do too much with it, trying to get around it. Driver just decided to go that way with it, unfortunately, right at Chris Davis.
It was. Altuve grounded to short in the first inning. He went fishing for one there. There's strike 1.
Altuve's been getting a lot of breaking balls today in his first couple ABs here.
He sure has. Ah, the orange hats belong to Jose fans. One and 1 to count. A win tonight would give the Astros a .500 record at home this season. They're 12-13. 2 balls and a strike. They're currently a half game behind Oakland. Oakland is 20-28. Houston 19-28. And the Angels right now are 2 in front of the Astros. Altuve taps it foul. It's 2-2 to Jose. Here's the way it looks. The Mariners continue to be strong, and they're a game and a half in front of the Rangers right now.
It's pretty incredible what the Mariners have been able to do. The Rangers have put themselves in a good position too, knowing they get Yu Darvish back this weekend.
They're going to lose Odor though for 7 games, right?
Yes. Finally got the appeal back, and he actually gained a game.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised me.
He had been handed an 8-game suspension. Now it's been reduced by 1 to 7, and he is to start serving that immediately. That's the way it works. After that appeal is heard and the ruling is handed down, player must start serving it immediately. Can't serve it when you want to serve it.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice, huh?
Yeah. We had a question the other night on Twitter from somebody saying, hey, could the Rangers send him down to the minor leagues in order to avoid playing a man short during his suspension? Well, they could have, but eventually he would have had to serve it when he came back up.
Yes, that is a big league suspension. Much like you wanted to choose your vacation time, you can't choose where you take your vacation.
Exactly. But there have been those cases when the player's been sent down. Yep. And he might not come up for 2 years, we'll say, but when he comes back up, he has to start serving it immediately.
Exactly. Kind of brutal if you got a suspension, you're appealing it, you get hurt, go on the DL, and then you'd have to serve the suspension when you got back healthy.
Yeah. That will break the slump for Jose Altuve. That snaps the 0 for 18. Altuve with a single for his 59th hit of the year. Well, he's deserving of that and a lot more because he's had some lineouts during that 0 for 18.
Yeah, during that 0 for 18, a lot of bad luck. He's hit line drives all over the ballpark. But I'm sure even Jose Altuve is pretty happy to see that ball drop in shallow right center field.
Just in this series alone, he's lined out 3 times. Carlos Correa struck out in the first inning. Quick move to first. Altuve diving back. Altuve with 15 steals is tied for the American League lead. He's been caught only once. And tied for first in the majors. In fact, you know who's tied with him for that major league lead? And the guy who's on top of the National League is his former teammate, Jonathan Villar of Milwaukee.
How about that?
In for a strike to Correa. Good crisp fastball from Gausman in the mid-90s. The batting average against his fastball this season is 198. And it's 0-2 quickly for Correa.
Wow, just off the inside corner. That's a tough parts of the plate to protect. Although that first pitch looked like a pretty good pitch to hit.
Struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Gausman. As he moved the fastball around and then elevated it to get the punch out. Colby Rasmus fouled out his first at bat in the first inning. Springer homered leading off that first, and then Valbuena hit a 2-run shot in the second. Trumbo hit a second inning homer, so all the 4 runs in this game have come on the long balls, and that's been kind of the scoring pattern for both of these teams this year. Rasmus has 12 career homers against Baltimore pitching. Strike 1 for Colby. It's Milwaukee 3, Atlanta 2. They're in the top of the 7th in Atlanta. Ryan Braun hit his 9th home run. Tyler Flowers number 2 for the Braves. Yeah, just checking Jonathan Villar. He's leading off tonight and playing shortstop for Milwaukee. He's hitting .291. Colby takes, and it's 1-1. The Astros have not had a 3-game winning streak this year. They always talk about happy flights, right?
Happy flights are good flights.
Well, this could be a very happy flight. They have their first 3-game streak, their first 3-game sweep as well if they get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On the Baltimore side, things have turned a little sour coming into this series. They were rolling. They had won 10 of 14. They were tied for first. 10 games above 500. Buck Showalter not making a whole lot about this, but his hitters have not been as selective in this series as they had been. Throw goes over and drives back Altuve. The Orioles are averaging 4.4 runs per game. The Astros 4.0 runs per game. But Baltimore pitching has been substantially better than Houston pitching in terms of staff ERA. Evan Gattis is on deck. Altuve had a pretty good lead and threw the throw. It's so sophisticated these days in Major League Baseball. All the data available for the players on pitchers' moves, their time on that move to the plate, release times, catchers' pop times. Rasmus is down on strikes. That's 5 for Gausman. No runs, a hit, and a man left after 3. 3-1 Houston.
the Orioles, top of the 4th. Come celebrate your birthday the Astros way. Cheer on the Astros while throwing a birthday party at Minute Maid Park. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 713-259-8996. Ronnie?
Birthday parties. Gotta love a birthday party at the ballpark. Good to have hot dogs and cake. Matt Wieters, 3-1 Astros. Take strike 1.
How old is Orbit in alien years?
Orbit is 4,262 years old.
My goodness, he looks great for that age.
Well,
he's like Yoda.
He's been on a plan. One ball, one strike. Got a personal trainer.
I'd question that trainer.
Which is better than an impersonal trainer, by the way. 1-2. Pirates beat the Diamondbacks 8-3 today. Arizona now 21-28. They'll be coming up soon on the Houston schedule. There's been some disappointment in the desert with the way they've performed this year, Blummer.
Yeah, they big free agent sign with Greinke, and they traded for Shelby Miller, and those two guys have been scuffling a little bit at the top of that rotation. Goldschmidt not having a great year.
Valbuena bare hands throws, and he gets Wieters. No, safe at first. He got the throw there, but White unable to hang on. So Wieters is safe at first.
Kind of bizarre. That's the second time in the last 2 days we've seen a player at first base just drop the ball. It's a pretty good imitation of Omar Vizquel by Luis Valbuena, and I don't know, Brown, it's good old-fashioned clank.
Yeah, it's an error on White, his 4th of the year.
There might have been a little bit of run or sink on that ball coming across.
Valbuena is credited with an assist by the official score. They strike 1 to Trumbo. He cranked a homer up on the railroad tracks in left field. That is the 26th error of the year for the Astros. The Orioles made 4 errors last night. 2 by Manny Machado in 1 inning. That had not happened before in the big leagues. And 2 by the pitcher Tyler Wilson last night. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that was an ugly defensive game. There could have been a couple more errors mixed into that ball game. Pedro Alvarez bobbled the ball.
Right. And it was a crazy play with Colin McHugh.
Yeah.
He got an error on that play in the 6th inning when Baltimore came back to tie it at 3. And then his slight injury to his wrist, nothing serious at all, and the glove got knocked off his hand. Mark Trumbo, Robinson Cano, Todd Frazier, all with 14 homers. The tri-leaders. And Manny Machado is a step behind with 13.
Another Chris Davis with 13 home runs out there in Oakland.
Yeah, how about 2 Chris Davises? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trumbo, though, is one of those guys who should be contending for a home run title. He has legitimate power.
Trying to get back to those years he had in Anaheim or LA or Orange County or whatever the name of that place is.
He had 32 there in 2012 and then 34 the next year there. Wherever there is. And he struck him out. That is number 6 for McCullers.
Showing a good breaking ball. All of his Ks on the evening, I believe, have been on that breaking ball. That one he threw hard at 87 miles an hour to get the swing and miss.
Jonathan Scope struck out in the 2nd inning. He had 15 homers last year, 16 the year before. Came in for strike 1. He's got that fastball moving into right-handed hitters tonight.
Some late life on it, running in on the hands of right-handers.
A.J. Cole, the Pirates starting pitcher, hit a home run today in their 8-3 win. Foul ball, 0-2. Toronto beat the Yankees 3-1. Blue Jays have had some guys who have not been hitting the way they normally do. Jay Happ was the winning pitcher today. That takes him to 6-2. He beat Sabathia, who's 3-3. Osuna got save number 10. Joey Bats is hitting .238. Josh Donaldson .242. Edwin Encarnacion .242. Russell Martin .176.
Wow, that's not good.
No. He hit 2 homers last night.
I guess when he is getting the hits, he's making them worthwhile.
Yeah. 0-2. So if you're a hitter, here we are, 3rd week in May, coming up on the 1/3 mark of the season. Is 1/3 of the way through the season considered to be a start? So you are off to a bad start if you're hitting 176. Yeah,
once those ABs get up around 200, then you got to do some serious work to get those numbers back up. Because usually in the first 100 to 150, you can take a 3 for 4 and your average jumps a good 15-20 points. Start moving things in the right direction. But once you get over that 200 mark, we got to do some serious work on a daily basis to start getting that average to start creeping back up.
And what if your work that you're doing, extra work and all that, isn't getting you anywhere?
Don't do it. Just shut it down and don't take BP. Just show up and hit.
Struck him out on another breaking pitch. That's 7 for McCullers.
It's really a fine line when you're not going well as you look at that hard breaking ball from Lance McCullers for another strikeout. When you're not going good, you got to work. Because if you don't, then everybody says you don't care. But at the same time, there are moments where you overwork, kind of swing yourself into a slump. I tell you what, when you're scuffling that long, that badly, about ready to take anybody else's swing up there.
Kim takes the breaker, and then strike 1.
There you go. Brownie, that breaking ball percentage is way up today.
53%. What do you think it was after the first inning? He threw almost all fastballs in that first inning.
Well, I think he was falling behind, but he was trying to find the location, trying to find that release point. But then got a strikeout on that curveball, got a ground ball, I think, on one of those curveballs. That's a changeup right there at 89.
Yeah, it was a very hard changeup.
But I think he's showing better command with that breaking ball.
His first 10 pitches were fastballs. Of the next 11, 8 were breaking pitches, 3 fastballs.
There you go.
That's how he changed it. 2 balls and a strike. Colin McHugh went 5 1/3 last night, gave up 3 runs, and the bullpen continued to be rock solid in the Astros 4-3 win. Wide over for the foul ball. Doug Fister went 5 2/3 Tuesday night, and the bullpen was scoreless there. So this Houston bullpen has really been supporting the club here in the month of May. Just tremendous numbers. Currently 13 straight scoreless innings by the Astros relievers. And Will Harris in particular is on some kind of a roll.
Is he ever?
Bounces high. The Astros bullpen had a 16 strikeout game, as you know, Tuesday night. That tied the club record. Currently the Astros are 2nd in the American League in the month of May in bullpen ERA 2.39. So the starting pitcher can give them 6 good innings. They have a strong chance to win. Scoring more runs now. Fly ball left field. Rasmus backing on it, checking the wall, and right there in front of that scoreboard wall, he has it for out number 3. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. 3-1 Astros.
Fourth inning here at Minute Maid Park. In 2016 Coca-Cola Astros Buddies memberships are on sale now for only $25. Buddies members get a voucher for 4 tickets to an Astros game, VIP access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive autograph sessions, and more. Memberships for kids up to 12 years old are available by visiting astros.com/buddies.
All right, kids, dip into your savings. It's a great program. Evan Gattis, 3-1 Astros. Bottom of the 4th inning, fouls the fastball from Kevin Gossman, strike 1. Gattis was caught looking in the 2nd. No, kids, your parents will subsidize you for that one. It's not costly at all. By the way, we heard on Twitter that we have had audio problems. We were aware of that. We think it's better now, but we apologize. 1-1. Tata Tech reports a lot of high-pitched noises coming through. That's not unusual.
It's that metal plate in my head.
A lot of yelling and screaming and things like that. 2 balls and a strike. You think we should have an inning with elevator music?
Absolutely. Soothing, calming.
Do they still have elevator music?
I believe so.
Okay. Strike call makes it 2-2. Miami beat Tampa Bay 9-1 in the Citrus Bowl. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jose Fernandez won it. He is now 7-2. He beat Drew Smiley, who's 2-6. Fernandez with a 1 walk, 12 strikeout game in 7 innings. Danny Echeverria hit his 3rd homer. Chris Johnson his 2nd. Gattis is down on punch out, number 6 for Gossman. Julia Morales is waiting.
Hi.
Oh,
look who I found.
Nice.
Don't I look
There we go.
fantastic in my great white hat? And with Barbara, super fan. She's always here. And she's always got great signs. Show off your signs, Barbara. What do you got here? These are her Tyler White signs. But you had a shark first, right?
Yes, we had Tyler Shark.
This is how it started. And then where did the hats come in?
The hat came from my friend Susan, who said, oh, gosh, we should wear a hat. So we went shopping all over the place for hats, and Susan came up with these gorgeous hats that Julia's wearing here.
They are gorgeous. Did you have a lot to choose from? Was this a hard process?
It was a hard process. Susan probably shopped a couple of weeks before we decided on which ones to get.
Of course, Susan's not here tonight, but we'll give her some love anyway. So the Great White, where did you hear about the Great White?
Well, when Tyler first got here, he had such a hot streak, everyone was calling him the Great White. And so we thought, with a Great White Shark, we should make a shark sign for him. And I always have signs for my players. And so the hat, it just happens to be shark hats.
Perfect. Don't we look so good, guys?
Love the teeth.
Those
Check
are
out
good.
the profile.
Right above your eyes. Yeah, that's very becoming for both of you with the profile shot. Nice. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 balls and 1 strike now in the Great White, Tyler White. Fouling it back, it's 2-2. He would be honored to know that you're wearing those hats to cheer him on tonight. Still fairly rare. We don't see a lot of them around. Fouled away, and he hangs in there at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Valbuena is on deck as they enjoy some munchies. See some things you like from this team during this series?
Yeah, pitching and timely hitting. I know they haven't been driving in a lot of runs, but the times they have been able to get on the board, it's been just enough. And the reason it's been just enough is because that bullpen has been doing a great job. The starters have done well getting deep into ball games, and I think you're starting to see a little bit of a pattern out there in that bullpen for A.J. Hinch with leads in the 7th, 8th, and 9th with the Giles, Harris, Gregerson combination.
Fouled away again. Well, the other thing that's starting to turn a little bit, at least it would appear, is their performance in close games. They're now 7-10 in 1-run games. having won the last 2 by a run. They've been through a tough stretch of losing those 1-run affairs. Paul Yanish makes the throw to Davis, 2 outs.
I think it's just been a tough stretch period for this ball club, playing some top division teams. Looking for a little bit of a break. If they can get the momentum against these #1 teams, maybe keep that momentum going against teams that hopefully they should be.
It brings up a stat as Valbuena comes up for the second time. He ripped a 2-2 pitch for a 2-run homer. If the Astros win this game, they would be 10-10 in a stretch of games against 6 different clubs with winning records in those series.
Pretty good.
1-0. Yeah, they were 2-2 against Seattle, 2-1 against Cleveland, 1-3 against Boston, 2-1 against the White Sox, 0-3 against Texas, and 2-0 so far against Baltimore in that tough stretch of games. Now 2 balls, no strikes to Luis Valbuena. Now Valbuena, last year when he was with the Cubs, victimized the Orioles for homers in back-to-back games, and he had one off Gausman last year, so he was only 1 for 2 in his career off Gausman, but now 2 for 3 with 2 homers off Kevin, and he's sitting on a 3-0 pitch here.
Swing it. It's just a low fastball, and he gets the head out nicely. Line drive out of here to right.
Foul back, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes to Valbuena. White Sox and Kansas City Royals were postponed in Kansas City. It's raining north of Houston quite a bit tonight. This looks like a hit. No way. Machado tries it, but that's an infield hit for Valbuena. And he's 2 for 2.
That is a peach. You can see why this is a peach. There is nobody on that side of the field except Manny Machado, and he has yet to get into that frame to try and make a play on it. Really no chance. All about location. That was beautiful. But apparently Valbuena against Gausman, all he has to do is touch it.
Well, he has a 2-run homer and an infield hit. Jason Castro struck out in the 2nd inning. Ball 1 to Jason. Things are going well with baby Castro. His wife Maris has had some help with the baby, and so Jason has been able to get his rest. Nice to have family to come in and help out when it's baby time.
It's a good move by a husband.
Oh yeah. 2-0. Jackie Bradley Jr. has grounded out now in the 8th inning, and he is now 0 for 4 as he tries to extend his hitting streak to 30 games. Boston trails 7-2. Colorado at Boston, bottom of the 8th inning. Upstairs. 3-0. Brady Castro was born 7 pounds. 3 balls and a strike to Jason. .83 pitches for Gausman, and he's in the 4th inning now. He went 6 2/3 last time out, gave up 1 run against the Angels in a 3-1 win. He's gone to 3 balls in every hitter in this inning. Blows it by him, and it's a full count now.
Let's see if Gausman tries to throw that fastball again. Castro, a veteran hitter, should be able to make that adjustment pitch by pitch right here, especially if he sees the same pitch again.
Only one pitcher had a lower batting average by left-handed hitters against him than Gausman coming into this game. That's bobbled by Scope. He recovers and gets his man to end the Astros 4th inning. No runs, a hit, and a man left through 4. It's 3-1 Houston.
He'll say it on Twitter. Other than him yelling "catch the ball" in spring training, he says that a lot. You know, winners win, and I think that like mentality of understanding that you're a winner. I mean, that's going to the park expecting to win is a big, versus like going to the park expecting to lose. I mean, that attitude alone will win you a lot more games.
Ginsberg, a mindset coach for the Houston Astros, he's talking about there, but it's true. Lance McCullers, all he has done in his career is win, and a lot of these guys that have come up through the Astros organization here recently, that's all they know. That minor league system so good. Lance McCullers on that team that won the championship with Lancaster just a couple years ago, playing with Carlos Correa. These kids are so young, and they're up at the big league level, expecting to do just that every night. And Blemmer, there's probably a lot of benefit to having that winning mentality as you come up through the system once you get here, right?
Yeah, I agree. And we hear so often with these, the emphasis on data, the emphasis on drafts, and the emphasis on minor leagues is development. And you hear that a lot, but I like the idea that the Astros are putting emphasis on winning, developing guys that know how to win once they get here to the big leagues. So when they win in the minor leagues, they get a taste of it. They know how to accomplish winning. But when they get here to the big leagues, it's a little bit different because competition is that much better. But at least they have that taste and that flavor of winning and understand what they have to do to increase their chances to win ball games.
2-1 on Paul Janisch. He grounded out earlier. And now 3 balls and a strike. Paul's cousin, Rita Shuma, used to work for the Astros, and she is still working for the Sunshine Kids Foundation. Full count now for McCullers on the number 9 hitter, Janisch. That's foul. When McCullers pitched that gem against the Orioles last June, complete game 4 hitter with no walks, 11 strikeouts. He became only the 2nd rookie in Astros history to strike out 11 or more without walking anybody in a complete game. Shane Reynolds did it against Pittsburgh in July of '94. That's ball 4 to Giannis, a leadoff walk, and that's number 4.
Lance's 3rd start since coming back from the DL. I'm sure that Brent Strom would like to see that pitch count being used a little more efficiently. He's got 86 pitches here in the 5th inning, but those 4 walks contribute to those high pitch counts, unable to locate that fastball when he needs to.
True. Joey Rickard has one of those walks and also a strikeout. Strike to Rickard with Machado on deck. There's a delay now in Atlanta with Milwaukee leading the Braves 4-2. There in the 7th. Rain 0-2. Hope that rain has moved through the northern Houston area by the time the Astros have to leave town. It's hit the Woodlands pretty hard.
Yeah, it's not looking good up there north of the city, is it?
No.
Man.
We're getting pictures sent to us. Rickard has struck out. That's number 8 for McCullers.
Another one of those sliders. This one thrown 88 miles an hour. Good bend on it. Greg Gibson on the call of Joey Rickard.
Machado has walked both times tonight. Ball 1 from McCullers. Last night out of the bullpen it was Neshek, Giles, Harris, and Gregerson in support of Colin McHugh. 1-1. Chris Davinsky has a fresh arm and he hasn't pitched in this series. Well, the Astros have been impressed with the way Devo's arm bounces back from relief outings.
I love those young kids with rubber arms.
He'll be headed for home. He's from the Anaheim area, went to high school there. He's going to talk with his high school team. 2 balls and a strike. There are only 7 games in the majors today. A lot of teams have a day off for travel. In for a strike, 2-2.
We're extra special. We get to leave at night.
Yeah. Get that nice quick flight to Anaheim. You'll be there before you know it, Blummer.
Yeah, I love the you gain 2 hours.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Get in early, yeah.
So my watch will say 2:30. My body's going to say 4:30.
Exactly. 3-2. How about that trip from, well, the longest trip would be Miami to Seattle, right?
Yes.
I don't think they play each other.
Which nobody should do.
Yeah. That should be banned from interleague play.
Yeah.
Those 2 teams should never have to play each other.
Probably have to refuel.
Still 3-2. Have you known people who have had international travel as a part of their jobs, though?
Yes.
How do they do that?
I don't know. I've heard several different ways to combat the jet lag and time changes and stuff like that.
Anything good?
I heard one, and I've actually tried it, and it's legal.
Okay. Now we're interested.
You get to the hotel from wherever you've been or wherever you get to, you order an espresso.
Okay.
Shoot the espresso, take a nap, wake up, and you're golden.
Oh.
And it works. Because you pound the espresso, get the caffeine in your body, and immediately lay down, take yourself a nice decent nap, half an hour to an hour, pop up, caffeine kicks in, you're raring to go.
But how can you take a nap after you just downed all that caffeine?
It takes a little while to impact the system.
All right.
That's my only scientific evidence I think I might have made up.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people will be unable to sleep. Well, it's ball 4, and that's 3 walks for Machado. Not sure where it was. But now 2 men are on. Here's a look at where it was. It was on the corner.
That was just too good a pitch.
That's 5 walks now. 2 in this inning, and Brent Strom is out to talk. Chris Davis, the batter, and things are getting a little dicey here with the Astros up 3-1 and Davis 0 for 2 tonight. Michael Phillies has begun to warm up for Houston.
This will give us an opportunity to look at our Ford spray chart. It will be regarding Chris Davis, who was at the plate 2016. See that spray chart on him. 15 hits up the middle, 14 pulled. Only 9 hits going the other way, but that average incredibly high up the middle and the other way. And it doesn't shock me that that bottom part of the zone on the left-hand side of your screen is lit up in red, because he's got that big uppercut, likes to get those pitches down in the zone and lift them.
He's grounded out to first and struck out tonight. That uppercut swing, and it's strike 1. He can drive that pitch a long way if his timing is right. He hit 47 homers last year to lead the league, and in 2013 he hit 53 to lead the league, and also led in runs batted in that year. That's really where he likes it, but if it's at the proper velocity, and that's what happened, it was 95, so he fouled it off. 0-2 now. If Lance could elevate, that might finish him off.
I say, because he's already planted the seed that he's got a good breaking ball. Like I said, maybe buzz one up in the zone.
Beautiful pitch for a strikeout. That is 9 punch outs.
Yeah, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep going back to it. That's a second strikeout on the curveball against Chris Davis. And down out of the zone. He's having a tough time picking it up.
Well, that's such a good pitch because it looks like it's going to be in the zone, right?
Well, that's the thing. That's that harder breaking ball that we've seen thrown at 87, 88 miles an hour. You see it jump out of the hand similar to a fastball. And again, when you start your swing, it starts to break out of the zone and you have no time to adjust.
Jones has struck out and grounded to second. Big confrontation right here with a 2-run lead and 2 men on against a power hitter. Good pickup by Castro. Ball 1 in the dirt. The 11 strikeout game last year for McCullers against Baltimore is his major league high. He has 9 tonight, giving him 20 strikeouts in 2 starts against this club, and this is his 14th inning of work against Baltimore as a major leaguer.
And you can bet AJ and Brent Strom in that Astros dugout are cheering like crazy for him to get through this 5th inning.
2-0, you bet.
Pitch count at 102 now.
Yeah, this might be about it for him. He got through 6 innings with 92 pitches last time against the Rangers. Now 3-0.
He is not happy with his fastball command at all.
Wieters is on deck. Ball 4 loads the bases. That's the 6th walk, 3 in this inning. Wieters has grounded out and reached on an error. Ball on the ground both times. Wieters was the 5th player drafted in 07 from Charleston, South Carolina, and Georgia Tech. There's strike one to Wieters. He had a game-winning homer on Saturday. It was his 30th birthday, and he delivered in the 9th inning a 3-run shot in Anaheim. And that was the game started by Gausman. Mark Trumbo's on deck. One and one. The 6 walks is a new major league high in a game for McCullers. He had walked 4 twice previously. 2 grand slams for Wieters. Line drive goes foul. 1-2.
Curveball that didn't curve, hung up there, got away with it. Wieters just a little bit late recognizing it. But a big situation right here. Lance has worked himself into that 1-ball 2-strike count. Can he have another curveball to put away Wieters and get out of this jam?
Good Thursday night crowd hoping he can. And he does. He walked 3 and struck out 3 in that inning. A major league record with 47 strikeouts in a 3-game series as the Astros get their 10th of the night. They've tied Washington's 47 strikeouts earlier this year in a 3-game series against Minnesota, and they lead it 3-1. Baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity. 3-1 Astros after a very exciting top of the 5th inning. Here's Jake Marisnick with a shot on the ground to Paul Yanish. 1 pitch, 1 out as the bottom of the 5th gets underway for Kevin Gausman. Question is, will there be another inning for Lance McCullers? Let's go back to 2014. There's that one you talked about with Jose Altuve.
That was that one. That's the one right there.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Torino's paid for that one, but he probably couldn't believe that Altuve even got near that ball.
George Springer had a leadoff homer in this game. Then a ground out. There's strike 1. Now Lance McCullers, who walked 3 and struck out 3 in the top of the inning, has thrown 108 pitches. Michael Feliz has been working. He continues to throw in the bullpen. And we're thinking that might be the end of the night for Lance. No balls, 2 strikes. That's a lot of stressful pitches he has thrown in this game, Plummer.
Yeah, he has been working, but it's also self-induced with those walks that he's had. I've never seen an inning like that last one. Walk, strikeout, walk, strikeout, walk, strikeout. That doesn't make any sense.
That was quite a true outcome inning.
Yes, it was.
Still 0-2. Altuve is on deck. Springer chops one foul for Giannis.
Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. Highest opponent swinging strike percentage. Gossman on the right with that split finger. Gets a swing and miss 32% of the time. How about Luke Gregerson on that slider? Astros closer getting almost 35% to swing and miss on his slider. There's a couple other guys up there, but you can check them out for yourself.
Syndergaard is something, isn't he?
Yeah, he is some kind of special with that lightning rod of an arm.
Gregerson watching with arms folded. The count reaching 1-2 on Springer. Scott Feldman alongside. Now 2-2. Springer works the count very well. George has a .362 on base average. Jose Altuve currently a .398 on base average. A very good top two in the lineup. Did he go? He did not. And it's 3-2. Ed Hickox with the call. Now Springer should see something he can drive.
That split finger that we just showed where Gossman gets some swings and misses. George holds up, lives to fight another pitch.
Springer hammers one. That is number 2 of the night for George Springer. He has unleashed the beast. That's 11 home runs for Springer. 28 runs batted in. The Astros lead grows to 4-1.
Wow. It's kind of fun to watch. That was a split finger from Gossman and not a good one at all. And George Springer put a little shimmy on that one.
Third career multi-home run game for Springer.
Second multi-home run game on this date.
How about that? 1 year ago he did it. Jose Altuve with strike one. 1 for 2 in the game. He loves this date.
My, oh my. That was a prodigious blast.
Next May 26th, people will be taking note of what he's done.
Yeah, mark it on your calendar and buy some tickets.
Asher Tolliver warming up for Baltimore. It's 1-1. The third game in a row he's been the leadoff man now, and he probably won't be getting moved out of that spot for a while. 1-2. Now with the Astros winning and Springer hitting well.
So you get Springer's back going good in that leadoff spot, and you get this guy right here to get back to form. Potent top part of this lineup. And you got Correa down there. Young man, if he gets his bat going too, I mean, you've still got that lethal 1-2-3 punch no matter what order you put him in.
Yes, sir. This is Springer's 50th career game hitting leadoff with a .385 batting average, .385 on base average. So among active players, he ranks 8th in career on base average batting leadoff. And he's been on in each of his last 16 games now for .411 on base average. 3 homers allowed by Gossman in 36 2/3 innings entering tonight. 3 home runs tonight. Altuve with a very late swing strikes out. 7 punch outs for Gossman.
Sit back and enjoy. It's like slow pitch softball right here. My goodness. That is getting the contact and extending through it. Trying to knock out a panel out there.
Yes, he did. Try to knock out a panel.
Gosh.
Looks like he's playing for the Bayou City Bombers. Carlos Correa with 2 strikeouts takes ball 1. So that one would still be rolling out on Crawford Street if the roof were open tonight. Correa fouls it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
George may want to put that one on his highlight reel and send it into the home run derby selectors.
3-run lead now for the Astros. They have 5 of the 6 hits in this game. 2-1. Only Baltimore hit a Trumbo homer in the 2nd inning. The Birds have left 7. They have received 6 walks tonight, and they've struck out 10 times. Weird game. Kansas City could be in trouble for a third baseman. Mike Moustakas on the DL with a torn anterior cruciate ligament in his right knee, and sounds like surgery is going to happen. Davis takes care of out number 3. What a night for George Springer. 1 year after he cranked 2 home runs in a game, he's done it again. 4-1. Of homers and also a battle of strikeouts interspersed with walks. Here's the bullpen for the Astros and how well it's been doing.
Yeah, this has been a good series for them. Finishing off this homestand. Tony Sipp, Ken Giles, we talked about with these pitchers going a little bit deeper in the game, they've been able to use some of these guys in appropriate fashion. That first game of the series went 13. Every guy came in. They got 16 punch-outs out of that bullpen. The Birds really have had no answers for everybody that's come out of that bullpen for the Houston Astros.
Now it's hard throwing right-hander Michael Phillies. A 2-1 record, a 5 ERA, a whip of 1. 2-0 with a 0 ERA at home in 6 games. This month he's been on fire. And that's ball 1 to Mark Trumbo, who homered in the 2nd inning. Well, the only hit allowed by Lance McCullers, who in 5 innings allowed 1 hit, 1 run. Walked 6, struck out 10 through 108 pitches, 62 strikes. Now 2-0 for Michael Phillies. Phillies pitched in the 13-inning game Tuesday night, and he was the winning pitcher with 1 hitless, scoreless inning. And he struck out the side in that one, throwing 19 pitches. 2-1. He has really been something to watch. Scoreless in 6 of his last 7. Ground ball, backhanded. Valbuena slings it over to Tyler White. 1 out. What's been going on with this bullpen? 37 strikeouts in the last 2 games to tie a team record. No runs allowed in the last 13 innings for this Astros relief corps.
Some beautiful numbers. 2.39 ERA in this month. Those are getting back to the numbers even better than they put up last year.
And it's coming from all different areas. Jonathan Scope looks at strike 1. He is whiffed both times tonight.
Feliz has pitched his way into that bullpen. How about Feldman?
He's been very good. And Davinsky has helped.
Big time. That's another great name. Ken Giles rounding back into form.
Yes. Foul tip strikeout. That's the 11th punch out of an Oriole tonight.
That was a pretty rude introduction of Feliz to Scope.
That's the new record. 48 strikeouts in a 3-game series.
38 of those from the Astro bullpen. Just fuel.
Hyun-Soo Kim, the batter. He is 0 for 2. And there's a ground ball hit. Colby Rasmus over to play it and limit him to a single. Kim has a 2-out hit, and it's only number 2 of the night for the Birds. That brings up Giannis. Giannis grounded at third, and he walked. McCullers is in line for win number 1 of the season. Lance brought a lifetime ERA at home of 1.96 into this game tonight. Strike to Giannis. So Moustakas, who's going down with knee surgery, collided with the left fielder Alex Gordon. They chased a fly ball in Chicago. And Gordon is also on the DL with a right wrist fracture.
You got to be kidding me. That was all in one play.
Yeah.
Terrible.
They lose 2 mainstays of that defending world champion club. 1-1. Well, the hitting streak is over for Jackie Bradley Jr. He went 0 for 4. That's a strike on appeal to Ed Hickox. It's 1-2 to Giannis. Paul's now 33 years old. Struck him out, and that's a dozen for Astros pitching tonight. No runs a hit, a man left. The record is extended with every one. 4-1 Astros.
Astros. And Saturday, June 4th is Celebration Day at Minute Maid Park, as 10,000 fans will get a Colby Rasmus 2015 postseason celebration bobblehead presented by HEB. For more info, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Colby's a big fan of that bobblehead. He got a good look at it. So did his teammates, guys. It was pretty hilarious to ask the guys in the clubhouse what they thought of the bobblehead. All of them very confused that there's a shirt on the bobblehead. They're like, I don't remember him wearing a shirt. But it is a family-friendly collectible.
They had to dress him up.
Right. We're going to have more on Astros bases loaded.
You can't replicate that chest.
Asher Tolliver is about to throw his first major league pitch. And the lefty throws, and it's strike one to Rasmus. Rasmus 0 for 2 in this game tonight. Tolliver, making his major league debut at age 28, is from Little Rock, Arkansas. He was at AA Bowie, just promoted for this series. 0-2. Kevin Gossman in 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, walked 1, fanned 7. 5th round pick in 09, Asher Tolliver, 1-1 with a 2.42 ERA for Bowie this year. He's made 155 minor league appearances. And throwing 96, he misses outside. 1-2. That'll get your attention. Lefty reliever throwing 96.
Pretty quick to home plate, too. Motion is quick, and the ball jumps out of his hand.
And he has a slider, and that gets him a strikeout.
Tough ABs. Left on left, number 1. Number 2, you got to face a guy you have probably no video on.
Evan Gattis has struck out both times tonight. It's the 8th punch out for Orioles pitching. The Astros have a dozen strikeouts in this game. That catches the corner, and it's strike one. Moves it inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tolliver didn't surrender an earned run from April 19th through May 9th. Up the right field line and out of play. 1-2 to Evan Gattis. The 29-game hitting streak by Jackie Bradley Jr., the longest in the majors this year. It ended tonight as he went 0 for 4. Liner foul, and the Rockies won that game in Boston 8-2. The Orioles will be happy to get that news. They're trying to chase the Red Sox. And they were 2 games out as they took the field tonight. Tyler White is on deck. Tolliver went to college at Oklahoma City. Line drive, foul. Well, the big draft will be coming up in another couple of weeks from Major League Baseball. Charged by Machado. Going on the run to Davis, 2 outs. We'll have to read all those draft previews in the next couple of weeks as the teams begin to get ready for making those choices. It's an exciting time.
It is exciting. That draft has really become a part of organizations really forcing these guys. I mean, those are big picks now. Before, you draft a guy, you wouldn't see him for 3 or 4 years. Now these guys are turning around pretty quick.
They are coming quickly. You're right. 1-0 to White. White walked and scored on the Valbuena 2-run homer in the 2nd. He grounded out in the 4th. Yeah, they're moving swiftly through the minor leagues. More so than they have in the past. I'm not sure why. 2-0, but that's been a definite trend the last few years.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of theories out there on why these guys are getting rushed up here. Maybe it's just because they want to catch lightning in a bottle and use them while they're healthy regarding some of these pitchers.
In for a strike. 2-1. Well, certainly, as you've seen them come to the big leagues, you've seen some guys with awesome talent.
I completely agree.
Two and two. Chris Bryant's of the world, Carlos Correa's. There are some guys we could be watching for the next 10 to 15 years playing at the highest level.
Phenomenal talents. Manny Machado's a kid that got up there at 20 years old also. Seems like he's been in the league forever.
It does. Inside to White. 3-2 to Tyler.
Didn't King Felix for the Mariners make his debut at around 19, 20 years old
That
also?
sounds about right, yeah.
So he's been in the league forever too, and putting up crazy numbers.
That's a walk to White. His second of the night and 14th of the season. Kind of makes you wonder, you know, that period of peak performance has always been thought in baseball to be kind of age 27 to 30-ish. Yep. But it makes you wonder if the clock will be moved up on that, and it might be, you know, maybe 26 through something. We'll get a pinch runner at first now for White, and it's Marwin Gonzalez.
I'm actually kind of curious to see how some of these, you know, the minimum in the major leagues has gone way up. So you're seeing less of those guys that are at that 30-plus range that are being those utility-type guys, bench role player types. So they're going to the younger crowd as far as that's concerned. So I wonder if, you know, contract status, some of the Super 2 and arbitration numbers always get thrown out there with some of these guys getting called up.
Right.
So I'm sure there's a lot of variables being thrown into that mix to figure out how these kids are getting here so quick. But again, I think you and I both agree that the talent-wise, some of these guys deserve to be here.
Oh, they do. Valbuena is 2 for 2. A homer and an infield hit. It's 2-0 as he faces the hard-throwing lefty, Asher Tolliver. King Felix made his debut at age 19, 118 days.
Hey.
2-1. But, you know, these guys are coming along and from some top-flight college programs, agreed, but or in the case of a Correa moving quickly after high school, and they get here and they perform so well that it's not a fluke, and it obviously is not rushing them because they can handle it.
Yeah, these organizations are doing a good job of developing. We talked about already with the Houston Astros, but they're doing a great job of scouting too.
2-2.
And these kids are with that kind of talent, like the Bryce Harpers, King Felix, Correa, Machado. I mean, they're going to have real opportunities. Don't forget Jose Altuve too.
Sure.
He's ahead of Pete Rose as far as that hits is going.
Yep.
So I mean, these guys are going to play for a long time. If they can keep that pace up,
right?
You know, here in about 10 years, we may be telling some crazy stories about how we saw these kids back when.
Gather around, children.
Yeah, campfire stories.
3-2. Marwin Gonzalez about to take off from first base with 2 outs in the inning. Jason Castro's on deck, and it's foul back. Well, it's exciting to see all this young talent.
Yes, it is. It's got to be exciting for those kids too to understand how attainable it is to get drafted and get to the big leagues and contribute.
Valbuena strikes out. That ends the 6th inning. The Astros leave a man on after a 2-out walk. They lead it 4-1.
Got a winner. It's our Chevy Stroll poll, and it is the Gatorade shower. Wow, big winner on the Gatorade shower. Way to go, Julia.
Thank you. Thank you.
You proud of that one?
Let's go to the.
My goodness. There's some incredible accuracy with the Gatorade, too, by the way.
Oh, my goodness. I swear. It was so cold. That's all I can say.
You're a gamer, though.
Yeah, how would you feel if that happens tonight before we get on a plane for three and a half hours?
No. I'm going to need to get my suitcase back real quick.
You're rooting for a boring old win. Here's the 7th inning, 4-1 Astros, and it's ball 1 to Joey Rickard leading it off. Rickard is 0 for 2 with a walk. Michael Phillies is beginning his 2nd inning. Ground ball on 2 hops. Valbuena guns it over to Marlon Gonzalez. 1 out. Phillies is gaining so much experience now in relief, but a lot of people are wondering, what if he were to start later on for this club this year, if there's a need? How would he do as a starter?
I think we're all kind of wondering that question, but at the same time, I'm really enjoying what he's doing out of the bullpen, and you really don't want to fluster these young kids too much. We saw it with Davinsky, came out of that bullpen, got a couple starts, pitched well in a couple, but has gone back to that bullpen. But at the same time, for me, what Feliz is doing out of that bullpen, I just want to leave him right where he's at, let him enjoy it, build up that confidence, and he'll get his shot.
Ball 1 to Machado. Machado's walked all 3 times. No reason to let him walk here with a 3-run lead, but it's 2-0. Michael Givens is warming up for the Birds. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tony Sipp for the Astros. Now 3-1 to Machado. Houston firefighters on Twitter reports, I have finished mopping the kitchen and now I am getting the broom.
Well played. Score stays this way for a couple more innings. He's going to put that thing to use.
Well, the Astros haven't had the brooms out this year. Fly ball, right field corner. Springer over, but is there room for George? Nope. He was ready to make a leap.
He really thought about it, didn't he? There you go.
Thanks to Houston firefighters. Always a comforting thought when you're mopping the kitchen to have that opportunity to do that. When's the last time you mopped your kitchen, Plummer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I can actually answer that, Brownie.
Machado strikes out. That's strikeout number 13 for Astros pitching.
With the Astros 15-game flex plan, you're in charge of the games and seat locations that work best for you. Pick giveaway games, favorite rivalries, or a little of each by visiting astros.com/mini-plans or calling 1-877-9-ASTROS. That's 50 strikeouts now, isn't it, in this 3-game set?
13 tonight makes 50, yes.
My gosh.
It's a strikeout fest. Ball 1 to Davis. Davis 0 for 3. Club record was 41. Well, they've blown through that in a 3-game series anyway.
Setting major league records now.
Yeah. This is only the second opportunity the Astros have had to get out the brooms. They won the first 2 games at Chicago against the White Sox, but they lost the third. But still some innings to go, and the Orioles can strike with their home run power. 1-2.
Would have been real tough for the Astros to get that sweep up in Chicago, knowing that Chris Sale was throwing the final game of that series.
Yes.
Get Chris Sale number 1. It's a tough matchup, but then you get him in a situation where you're going for a sweep. He stepped it up a notch that night against the Astros.
Inside for a ball, 2-2.
I don't think I've ever seen an umpire move as much as Greg Gibson while Michael Feliz is pitching.
check him out here.
Flinching a couple times.
3-2. Oh, if he throws that fastball inside, Greg Gibson is exposed to it. That would not make one feel too comfortable. 23,826 the attendance. Struck him out. That's another one. That's 14 for the night. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Astros lead it 4-1.
O's. Our Toyota Tundra playing to win. We're taking a look at the bottom part of the order as we'll see them right here. Castro leading off. They've been better for the Astros lately, and we're going to take a look at Jeff Blum. Batting 7th, 8th, and 9th. His career numbers down there. He's batted all over, he tells me. But look, check out these numbers. It's pretty good to be at the bottom of the order. Can really help out a ball club. Blummer, I toss it up to you. I mean, I'm saying you can help a ball club out when you can hit at the bottom of the order, set things up for the top of the order, but this can also maybe extend a guy's career.
Yeah, it takes a little humility to move down towards that bottom part of the order, and I just enjoyed being in the big leagues, period, but I just wanted to be in the lineup, and I didn't care where it was at. I knew I was going to have my opportunities, and that's the mindset those guys have to have down there. Just suck it up, realize you're a part of a ball club, and do some damage down there in that lower third every once in a while. It's a good gig if you can get it.
Will Harris warming up in the bullpen. Castro took ball 1. It's even at 1-1. Jason 0 for 2 tonight. 3-run lead for the Astros as they bat in the 7th inning. One and 2. Asher Tolliver in his 2nd major league inning. The Astros have not swept a 3-game series since they did that against the Dodgers here last August 21st through the 23rd. They've swept the Orioles once in their history. First ever series between the two here in June of 03. 2-2, but the Orioles still will come up in the 8th and 9th, and Tony Sipp has been working. Now Will Harris. And for a strikeout. That's 3 for Tolliver. 10 punch-outs for Orioles pitching.
So far, Tolliver does not look like a comfortable AB.
He's coming out after a fine major league debut, an inning and a third, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. It's 4-1 Houston. Back in a moment.
Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 out. We're going to take a look at our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms this season. David Price on top there with a 7-1 record. That inflated ERA has been backed up by some strong Boston offense, but leads the American League with 76 strikeouts. 9-0 for Jake Arrieta on the bottom with a 1.67 ERA. 67 punch-outs in those 9 victories. How about the Cubs playing with Arrieta? 23 wins in his last 23 starts.
That's historic. Michael Givens in the game. Jake Marisnick faces him. Marisnick 0 for 2 tonight. In the air toward the right field line. Rickard coming over and not able to get there. Givens is having quite a start this year, Blummer.
He's got good stuff. Converted shortstop. He's got that little turn of the body, puts his back to the hitter, and comes in that low 3/4 arm slot, bringing some kind of noise, and he's got a pretty wicked slider to go with it.
The Astros could not solve him Tuesday night. He went 2 1/3 hitless innings. Didn't walk anybody. Fanned 4. Coming into the game tied in the 10th. Slider foul back. Keeps Marisnick alive at 0-2. But yeah, that arm angle. And then combine that with the miles per hour. Making him very tough at age 26. One and two. He might be one of the hardest sidearm throwers I've seen. Usually sidearmers can't rush it up there like that.
Yeah, usually they throw down from that angle to create movement, get that run or that sink on the arm side, but that was just turbo coming at you.
Punched on a line. That's fair. It kicks out towards center field. Marisnick is turning toward third. He's going to leg it out for a triple. Here's the relay, and it's there, and he is out. Jonathan Scope took that ball from Rickard, and he gunned out Marisnick with a perfect throw.
Gotta love the excitement of Jake Marisnick. It's been a rough start offensively for him on the year. Rips that ball down the right field line, and he had his head down the entire way. Digging to get that leadoff triple. This will give us a chance to see on the replay, hopefully, if he does sneak in there ahead of that tag at third base. You can see he pulls that arm back, kind of swim moves it. Did it bounce in the stands?
No. I think it just caught that wall.
Well, if it bounced in the stands, could that change things and put him at second base with a ground rule double?
Yes. It would do that. The umpires are huddling up now. You see Jake going into third.
Watch him pull that left arm back. Pretty athletic move to get the right arm in.
But then was the tag on him when he switched arms?
I'm not too sure.
A.J. Hinch is out.
The umpires are meeting. Meanwhile, Buck Showalter's having a chat with Dana DeMuth out in front of the Oriole dugout.
If we can see that ball where it bounced again, we can determine. And there's the tag at third.
So the hand is on.
Yeah.
No tag. Now it's being tagged, but nothing on the base there. He'd be out.
Yeah, he would be out.
But I'm wondering, is the option for A.J. Hinch, can you ask to see the replay on the ground rule double part of it maybe?
Yes. And so if it did bounce off that seat in the stands, it's a double.
It happened so quick.
Or somebody touched
that did.
it. Yeah, that's
that
out of
went
play.
in the stands. That's a ground rule double.
That is a double.
This is interesting. Buck Showalter's hogging all the time with the umpires. AJ's just looking for an opportunity to have a chat. There you see it clearly into the stands.
No doubt. Yeah, you picked up on that. Good call, partner.
Hey, team effort. Now we're going to wait and see what happens on the field.
This is one of the rare cases when the offensive manager is arguing for the lesser outcome in terms of bases.
Exactly.
He wants a double, not a triple.
Well, I think that's a good sign right there. A.J. Hinch is pointing down towards that right field part of the stands. He's saying the ball bounced in. It should be a ground rule double. Let's ignore what happened at third base and see what the hit should be ruled.
Sure. Dana DeMuth there has been talking with A.J.
Ball bounced quite a ways into the stands.
It did.
Surprised nobody on the field picked that up immediately.
So now they will go to the headsets. Umpire review. Yeah, you see there.
That goes well into the stands, huh?
Yeah, threaded its way between the people, hit the seat, and that's why it kicked out so hard. You got that one.
Well, it just would have been interesting if Jake would have been safe at third base. They go out and review, say he's safe at third, and then what if Buck came out and said, hey,
sure,
that was a ground rule double. I want him back at second base. That could have been a lot of fun. Guys in New York would have been getting their overtime pay.
The ground rule doubles are part of the manager challenge.
Beautiful. But that ball was fair, correct?
Yes.
It was a definitive fair?
Yes.
So there's really no opportunity for Buck. Here we go.
Buck may have been wanting to rule it a foul ball. Yep. It's
nice.
Going to second base. So Marisnick gives the Astros a man in scoring position. And he winds up with his third double of the year. Could be a big play in this game.
Jake gets into scoring position. We're going to look at our Lexus defensive rankings while we have Jake Marisnick in scoring position with Springer coming up. We go around there. Kim out there in left field. You're going to test him because I guess he's a rookie. Nobody's really seen him, so you're going to test him and see what he can do on the defensive side. Adam Jones, a great center fielder, can go get it. Good strong arm. And Joey Rickard in right field has a lot of speed, but still has yet to be tested with that arm. And I'm sure with the speed of Jake Marisnick, Gary Pettis will have no problem trying to test those arms.
George Springer has 2 homers tonight in 3 at-bats. Big cut, and there's strike one. Now with the way Givens delivers, he draws that arm back. It takes him a while to get the ball to home plate. That might give Marisnick an opportunity to get to third after all.
That would be a tough coverage for Giannis at third base with the big right-handed hitter George Springer up there too.
Foul away, 0-2.
Good pass at a Givens fastball.
You pointed out the way that Givens turns away from the hitter, and that adds to the delivery time required. But now, this is not a running count. Last 3 home run game by the Astros came from Carlos Lee against the Phillies, April 13th, 2007. El Caballo. That's a strikeout. 2 outs.
Gives you a good idea how nasty Givens is. I know George Springer's he's upset with himself, but he's seeing the ball well. He's hitting the ball well. Just saw a couple of nasty sliders for the punch out.
That's 11 strikeouts for the Orioles staff, 14 for the Astros staff, for a total of 25 in the game. Jose Altuve's 1 for 3. Correa on deck. A 2-out RBI opportunity for Jose. We didn't see that one. There's strike 1.
Almost looked like a cut.
It sure did.
95?
Yeah, that late quick movement. It did look like a cutter.
Wow.
From that arm angle, that's a tough pitch to hit. 1-1. Altuve grounded out the first time up, and then he snapped an 0 for 18 with a single in the third. 6 hits for the Astros, 2 for the Birds. Giannis throws him out to end the 7th inning with no runs, a hit, and a man left. We move to the 8th. It's 4-1 Houston.
And stay up to the moment with Game Day, live highlights, StatCast, and more with the MLB.com @BAT app. Download the app for your phone or tablet now. It's time to name that Astro, presented by your local Honda dealer. We have some clues for you. You know how this works. You tweet us your best guess, and then we tell you the answer a little bit later. One of 2 Padres with a 200-hit season. He was an all-star in the American and National League. Had 2 different stints with the Astros. Guys, any ideas?
Padres. Ooh. I have to think about that. But hey, I like what you said before you came on the air, Julia.
Uh-oh.
May I share that with our audience?
I'm scared. What do I say in the commercial break?
Will Harris needs to be an all-star this year.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah.
He was almost one last year. Did you hear AJ saying he was going to put in a phone call again this year?
No.
To Ned Yost?
I did hear that.
And plead and beg and try to get him on that roster.
Why not? A 0.69 whip, a 0.42 ERA, 20 1/3 straight shutout innings, covering the last 20 appearances. That's the longest active scoreless inning streak in the majors. And he comes in to face Adam Jones. Jones is 0 for 2 with a walk. Pops it up. Castro watches it go back behind the screen for strike 1. Michael Feliz in 2 innings allowed 1 hit, no runs, had no walks, and struck out 4. His numbers have been absolutely scary this year. He now has 4 walks, 33 strikeouts in 20 innings.
Yeah.
What that?
It's all right.
You're not impressed.
I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff.
No balls and 2 strikes for Will Harris. He's just made good pitch after good pitch during those 20 appearances coming into this one. That's the longest scoreless inning streak by an Astros reliever since Alberto Arias in 09. He had 21 1/3 consecutive scoreless frames. There's a punch out. And what else is new? That's number 15 of the night for Astros pitching.
Take a look at Lance McCullers' evening. Only lasted 5 innings, but they were an impressive 5 innings. Going out there, he threw a ton of pitches. In the process, he had 6 walks. He only gave up 1 hit, and it was a mistake to Mark Trumbo that led to that earned run on a home run. But 10 punch-outs on the good side for Lance McCullers. If he could have avoided some of those walks, he might have still been in this game for a little bit longer. But still, pretty impressive right arm once he got that fastball command taken care of.
19 strikeouts in the 13-inning game Tuesday, 18 last night, 15 tonight. New major league record, 52 for a 3-game series. And it shattered the mark of 47 set earlier this year by Washington. 2-0. Mark Trumbo's on deck. Line to right field for a hit. And Wieters takes his hitting streak to 7 games. It's only hit number 3 for the Birds tonight. And it brings up Trumbo, who ripped a homer in the second. He's 1 for 3. Harris pitched a scoreless 8th inning last night through 19 pitches. There's ball 1. His ERA doesn't come down much with a scoreless inning anymore. It's already so low. That's when
so great.
You're pitching well when you do that.
Wow.
2-0. Close one.
Great location. You know, Will Harris wanted that one to get back in this count. Instead falls behind 2-0. Pretty good eyeballs by Mark Trumbo.
Yes.
Either that or it was too nasty to even attempt to swing.
In the air, out to center field and deep. Marisnick sprinting way back toward Tal's Hill. Now turning now along the warning track. He had a long run to get there for out number 2.
You know what was great about that for me is that Marisnick understood it was hit well off the bat, but you saw him put his head down and get back there to Tal's Hill. That's experience here at Minute Maid Park. He puts his head down, gets back to the track, and then picks up the ball again and adjusts and goes sideways to pick that ball up. But the reason I'm impressed is because he sprinted out to where Tal's Hill is. If he had to go up on that thing, he wanted to get up on it before the ball was out there so he could make the adjustment with those legs underneath him, but makes a great play.
It's a really good point you just made. Jonathan Scope is 0 for 3, 3 punch outs. Because it is the quickest way to get to that point. Just turn your back and run to that spot. But that requires taking your eye off the baseball.
It does. You got to have some faith that ball's going to be up there for a while. But you and I both have seen plenty of baseball games here where guys have drifted into that hill and it's ended badly.
Sure. Because when you're trying to watch it, you have to turn your head a little bit as you're running. That slows you down.
Great point, too.
Now, back in the days of the Astrodome, nobody took their eyes off the baseball.
That is true.
That could lead to some embarrassment when you can't pick it up again. But yeah, some of the truly great outfitters do it the way Jake did it. They just turn it back and sprint straight to that spot.
I think a lot of the great outfitters too have the imagination to almost predict where that ball is going to end up. So they put their head down, get to a spot, look back up, and still have the ability to track it, which is pretty impressive.
Sure. Now Marisnick goes back into right center field. A long sprint for this one. He makes that one easily. We'll have to put him on StatCast after those two catches. No runs, a hit, and a man left. 4-1 Houston in the 8th.
Leading the Orioles. It is time to name that Astro, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. These are your clues. One of two with a 200 hit season. American League and National League All-Star. 2 stints with the Astros, and we have some tweets coming in. Let's see what kind of guesses we got. We got a Kim and Eddie. Oh, there's a Mark Loretta and a Steve Finley. Another Loretta. Well,
come on, it's got to be the low rider.
Kind of all over the place, but good work to those who guessed Mark Loretta.
You bet. Outstanding player.
Low Daddy. He's working in the front office now for the San Diego Padres.
Yes, he is. Zach Britton, the closer, comes in for the Orioles. He has not had work in this series. Carlos Correa is 0 for 3, leading it off in the home 8th. Good ball one. Britton, one of the best around. A lefty with outstanding stuff. He's 12 for 12 in saves, an ERA of 1.5, a whip of 0.61.
Batting average against. Oh man.
One ball, one strike on the foul ball. Britton is 28 years old. Marisnick had to get a breather, didn't he, after that sprint work in the outfield?
He ran himself into a out at third base, went back to second on the ground rule double, and then just did laps in the outfield.
He's milking it now.
He is playing it up.
Yeah. 2-1. Seriously, though, if we could look at StatCast, that might tell us how far he ran on those 2 back-to-back catches, right?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to watch. I hope they do actually take advantage of that and do that for Jake, because he is one of the more efficient route runners. That first one may not be as efficient, but it was a smarter play. But that last one, going towards the bullpen, that was a great play.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, maybe you and Ash and Julia can have that for us tomorrow night.
Yeah, we can catch up on the airplane tonight. Plenty of time.
Colby Rasmus on deck. Evan Gattis due up third in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bullpen action for the Astros with Ken Giles and Scott Feldman working. So maybe with the save situation in effect right now, Luke Gregerson has the night off.
Could be.
Astros have out hit the Orioles 6-3. And a punch out. Another one of those, huh?
Yeah, shocking.
That's 12 for Baltimore. Houston has 15. A total of 27 in this game, and it's Colby Rasmus 0 for 3. Only 13 of the 81 strikeouts in this series have been called third strikes.
Oof.
Infield shifts around. Zach Britton was drafted in the 3rd round in 06. His breaking pitch is in for strike 1. He was born in Panorama City, Louisiana, lives in Weatherford, Texas. He came to the big leagues as a starter in 2011 and was 11-11 that year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Then he had been converted by 2014 to relief work, and he really took to that. Had 37 saves in 2014 and 41 opportunities. Last year he was 36 of 40 with excellent control. 1-2. Two outs. Evan Gattis makes his way toward the batter's box. The Orioles will have their 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up in the 9th inning. Nationals beat the Cardinals 2-1 in Washington. Joe Ross with a win. Mike Leake the tough luck loss. Jonathan Papelbon got his 13th save. Nationals are now 10 games above 500 at 29-19. That's ball 1. The Cardinals just lost a series to the Cubs, and with this setback tonight, they are now back at 500. Machado goes low and safe at first. Well, Machado last night made 2 errors in 1 inning, and now he will draw his 5th error of the year.
Crazy to me. He's usually a reliable shortstop and third baseman. I wonder if he had a grip on that ball.
That's not it, but you couldn't get much more routine than that, right?
Yeah. I mean, no offense to Gattis, but I mean, he had plenty of time to get there, wind up, and make a good strong throw to get Evan.
23rd error of the year for Baltimore. The Orioles made 4 last night. Now Marwin Gonzalez looks at ball 1. Now Davis could have saved him the error had he made that scoop at first, but nonetheless, you don't see Machado do that very often on a play like that. 228 for Marwin, 4 homers, 12 runs batted in. He's had 114 at bats. He's hitting .265 as a right-handed batter. Yeah, even if you don't have the grip on the ball, don't you have time to re-grip in that situation?
Yeah, I would think so. I'd be interested to find out if he's using the same glove at shortstop that he used at third base, because I always used a bigger glove at third base than I did at shortstop, maybe by about a ½ an inch, just because you knew you had to make some of those quick exchanges on double play balls.
Sure. That third baseman's glove being bigger, sometimes it's hard to get in there and get that ball out quickly. That's what you're saying, right? On a double play.
That's exactly right. Yeah. But again, it might be a comfort thing with Machado. Maybe he is using the glove that he uses at third because he's had it on his hand for the last couple of years.
Bob Aspermani tells a great story about when he was signed as a bonus baby out of high school in Brooklyn, and in those days you had to bring that player to the major leagues if he got a certain bonus. Yeah, I couldn't send him to the minors, so he came up and was taking infield with Jackie Robinson and Pee Wee Reese one day, and Jackie looked at his glove and said, "Here, kid, you take mine. That's not a good shortstop's glove." for the reason that you're talking about. He had a third baseman's glove. 3-2.
That's a great story.
Joe Morgan's glove was tiny.
Yeah, it really was.
Bouncer back to Britton. He throws him out. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. We go to the 9th, 4-1 Houston. Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Let's go into a save situation for Ken Giles. It's a 3-run lead with 1 inning to go, making it a save situation. And Giles takes over for the 9th inning after another scoreless inning for Will Harris, his 21st straight scoreless appearance.
Good work by Harris. So you're going to see Ken Giles in a save opportunity here, giving Gregerson the night off. Last time Giles was out there was on the 25th against his Baltimore team. In 1 inning, had 1 walk and 3 punch-outs. That bottom line right there is a good number for Ken Giles. We'll see that keep trending that way.
And like Will Harris, Ken Giles is pitching for the 3rd straight game in this 3-game series. Hyun-Soo Kim, the batter, he singled to left in the 6th inning with a ground ball hit. He's 1 for 3. Harris in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs, had no walks, 1 strikeout. Just been a phenomenal run for Will Harris. So that ties Alberto Arias, 21 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings. He did it in 2009. Now we go back to Billy Wagner days for one that was longer. Pedro Alvarez comes out to the on-deck circle. Paul Yanez scheduled up next. 9 straight scoreless appearances for Ken Giles. 1-1. We've got some reliever streaks on this club. Last 12 outings, Giles has a 1.93 ERA and 11 strikeouts.
That's the kind of streaking you like.
Yeah. 2-1. Will Harris's ERA drops to 0.40. 2-2. It doesn't drop much. He went from 0.44 to 0.42 and now to 0.40 with those 1 scoreless inning appearances he's had in this series. The other thing Harris does with 13 pitches is keep himself in play for the next night.
It's a great call.
And Michael Feliz threw 26 pitches in his 2 scoreless innings. Well, the next time these two teams play, the Orioles will remember the Astros bullpen. That'll be August 18th through the 21st at Camden Yards in Baltimore.
There's a chance to be steamy out there in August.
Yeah, you got a shot. 3-2. 3 more scoreless frames tonight, giving the Astros relievers 16 in a row now. They're 7th in the league in bullpen ERA. That's come a long way down. Bouncer Altuve sliding, and he cannot come up with it. So Kim has an infield hit on the bouncer to the right side. He's 2 for 4.
Keep him off the base paths. Pretty good effort by Altuve. See, he wanted to kind of spin around, just was unable to keep that ball in his glove to make the exchange.
Now the pinch hitter's Pedro Alvarez batting for Paul Yanish, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. Alvarez is 2 for 9 in this series. He hit a homer Tuesday night. He's hit 3 homers, driven in 11 runs with a 194 average, and just hasn't gotten it going yet this year. Signed as a free agent with this Baltimore club in March after hitting 27 homers for the Pirates last year, driving in 77 runs. The shift is on. Giles throws it in for strike 1 at 96 miles per hour. Joey Rickard is on deck. Machado could bat in the inning. 0-2. So the Orioles have a definite threat going. Giles would love to turn this one around the other way and get a double play ball. Giles is averaging almost 12 strikeouts per 9 innings for his career in the majors. Line drive right field corner. That ball is foul. Really close. Still 0-2.
Got away with one.
Yeah.
Hanging slider. Pedro making a bid, but just foul. Nice grab.
That time they got it. Four 6-1 for Houston, 1 4-1 for Baltimore. The Orioles have left 9. The Astros have stranded 5. Fastball up makes it 1-2. Final game of the homestand, which started out with a Texas Rangers sweep of the Houston Astros. Line shot left field, Rasmus over, and that's a hard hit, out number 1.
Our delivery of the game is delivered to you by Jimmy John's. George Springer leading off this ball game with a blast almost onto the track out there in left field. This one left no doubt. Hanging split finger from Gossman was absolutely obliterated up off the glass panels in left field. Good night for George Springer.
Joey Rickard is the batter. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. And one of those memorable games for George. Manny Machado's on deck. That's strike 1 call to Rickard. Giles had 15 saves in 20 opportunities last year with the Phillies. Trying for his first save with the Astros. Fly ball to right field near the line for Springer. Altuve's coming over, but Springer there. 2 down. Now Giles, who is 0 for 1 in saves as an Astro, tries to notch his first with Houston, facing Machado, who's 0 for 1 with 3 walks. But the blown save for Giles was in Oakland, April 29th. He came in with a 2-run lead in the 8th inning. He gave up a homer to Marcus Semien, and so it was not a 9th inning save situation when he entered the game. Strike to Machado. Chris Davis on deck. Now this homestand began with a sweep for the visiting club. The Astros are trying to sweep the Orioles now to make it a homestand of 2 sweeps. 1-1.
Last 2 sliders from Giles almost looked like they backed up.
Sure did. Yeah, they seemed to break back toward the hitter.
Yeah.
So maybe a case of not finishing the pitch.
It just seems like they're not getting the rotation that he normally does get.
Deep drive to right. Springer back at the wall, leaping, and that one is off the wall. 1 runner's coming to the plate and will score on a long single by Machado to make it 4-2.
So you're telling me Kim went 3 bases and Machado only went 1?
That's puzzling.
Must have thought he got it out of here.
RBI single. Springer went back and leaped, and Machado is standing on first base after a long RBI single for his 28th run batted in.
It's a great swing on a fastball away. George gave it another phenomenal effort, unable to come up with it. And credit Marisnick for playing good fundamental baseball as you see him going over to back up George Springer. But no reason in this situation this late in the game for Machado to be only on first base.
Now representing the potential tying run, Chris Davis takes.
That was a lot faster than he ran in the game.
He really got there in a hurry. Ball 1 to Davis. Davis 0 for 4 tonight with 3 punch outs. And it's in for a strike to even it at 1-1 with Adam Jones on deck. The Machado hit was number 5 of the night for the Birds. Now Tony Sipp is doing some throwing in the Astros pen. Broken bat. Altuve down on a knee. And the Astros have their first 3-game sweep and their first 3-game winning streak of the season. With a strikeout flurry, they polish off the Birds for the 3rd straight night. 4-2 the final with 2 home runs from George Springer. And the pitchers show their kind of firepower on the mound. First series sweep for the Astros since last August against the Dodgers. Final score, Houston 4, Baltimore 2.